Hello, my friends. Today, the situation on the front line continues to deteriorate. Let's immediately recap the past week. According to preliminary estimates from analysts, Ukraine has lost an additional 86 square kilometers, including the gray zone, over the past week. Meanwhile, Russian forces have consolidated and taken full control of nearly 78 square kilometers, which is a significant gain. This pattern of gradual Russian advances seems to repeat almost every week. Unfortunately, the F-16 aircraft have yet to effectively counter Russian aviation. As a result, Russian forces are actively targeting Pokrovsk and Hryshine. Reports have also surfaced about strikes near the village of Beletsky. Along the front line, the Russians continue amassing forces near the village of Kotline and carrying out assaults. Today, they are attempting to penetrate and establish positions on the outskirts of Myrnohrad. They are also attacking the village of Promень, Миролюбівка, Єлизаветівка, and advancing across fields near the village of Baranivka. Over the past 24 hours, there have been no significant changes along the front line, but the situation remains as challenging as ever. In the Kurakhove direction, Russian forces are advancing toward Andriivka from two sides. They are also assaulting Dachne, Ulakli, Constantinople, and the village of Rozliv. No significant changes have been reported in the past day, and the Ukrainian forces continue to hold the defense. However, Ukrainian soldiers report that Russian forces in the Kurakhove direction are amassing strength for a larger breakthrough toward the Dnipropetrovsk region. In um, in the direction of Velyka Novosilka, the situation is also challenging. Russian forces are attacking the town and are attempting to extend the front line near the village of Privilne. While they haven't yet achieved new successes, the fighting continues and the loss of another town seems to be only a matter of time. A disaster is looming in Velyka Novosilka. There is no doubt that Russians will capture the settlement soon. What worries me is the losses we may incur during the withdrawal. The rapid fall of Vremivka has made an orderly retreat from the entire defensive area nearly impossible. In the Zaporizhzhia direction, no activity has been recorded in the past day, and the situation remains calm once again. In the Kherson direction, attacks continue near the Antonivsky Bridge and Zabich Island. Shelling of the right bank persists, but after Russian forces managed to take control of most of the islands in the gray zone, they have achieved no further successes. Now moving to the Toretsk direction. Here, the Russians are attempting to push further, launching active assaults on Krymske, Deliyevka, and advancing beyond Toretsk. Fierce battles continue in Sherebenivka, but despite their heightened activity, no new successes have been recorded, and the front line remains unchanged over the past day. In the Chasiv Yar direction, Russian forces persist in storming the city and advancing towards Stupachki. Frontline territories are under heavy shelling, but no new advances by Russian forces have been reported, leaving the situation stable for now. In the Siversk direction, battles for Verkhnyokamensky are ongoing as Russian forces attempt to move closer to Siversk. However, as before, they have made no progress and the situation remains stable. In the Lyman direction, the Russians have intensified shelling of the frontline areas and are trying to advance toward Novolyubivka, breaking through near the village of Terny and assaulting Zarichne. While there have been no changes over the past day, it's clear that the Russians aim to capture new territories here and are maintaining high levels of activity. In the Borova direction, battles are ongoing for Boguslavka, where the Russian forces are attempting to break through from Lozova and assaulting Kopanki and Novoyegorivka. Additionally, further south, clashes continue near the village of Makivka. However, there have been no changes along the front line as the Ukrainian forces successfully repel all attacks. In the Kupiansk direction, the Russians are assaulting Petropavlivka and Kolesnikivka while conducting shelling. However, the intensity of offensive actions here remains low, with only a few assaults per day, resulting in no significant progress for the Russians. In the Kharkiv direction, shelling continues without any offensive operations. Meanwhile, in Vovchansk, fighting persists, but Russian forces remain unsuccessful, leaving the situation stable. In the Kursk direction, it seems that the Russians are losing momentum. While counterattacks continue, the frequency has dropped significantly, now conducting just over 10 assaults per day compared to 60 at the start of the counteroffensive. This suggests they've depleted a significant portion of their reserves, resulting in reduced activity. It appears both sides are awaiting the beginning of negotiations and Trump's anticipated call to Putin. Meanwhile, Ukrainian forces remain present in the Kursk region and the Russians have failed to push them out. Meanwhile, Zelensky met with Scholz to pursue him to continue supporting Ukraine. Zelensky and Scholz discussed extending aid for Ukraine during a meeting in Davos. The Ukrainian president expressed gratitude for Germany's assistance in countering Russian aggression, stating, "We value Germany's leadership in strengthening Ukraine's air defenses and its role in saving thousands of lives." According to the office of the president, the two leaders also addressed cooperation between Germany and Ukraine's Ministry of National Unity, focusing on concrete steps to establish unity centers in Berlin. At the same time, some intriguing news has emerged from the United States. A meeting with the Washington Post journalist was recently held, thanks to Denis Yaroslavsky for arranging it. After the discussions, their correspondent responsible for Ukraine coverage went to Pentagon to gather updates. The surprising news is that everyone previously overseeing the Ukraine portfolio has been dismissed, reassigned, or sidelined, an apparent full reset. Changes are definitely underway. While this new relationship format is somewhat unsettling, we'll see how it unfolds. Meanwhile, Trump hinted at the possibility of imposing new sanctions on Russia if its leadership refuses to negotiate. The US is also evaluating the continuation of arms supplies to Ukraine. Future aid will depend on dialogues with Putin and Zelensky and their willingness to reach an agreement. Additionally, Trump urged Xi Jinping to assist in resolving the war in Ukraine. For now, we await his anticipated call to Putin. And that's all from me. So please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.